Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. All right, before we start this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie, I want to thank everybody for watching the show. This is very important that we get viewers for the show. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do, because that looks good on the YouTube side of stuff. You can watch the show on YouTube, on Gunstreamer, on Full30, and on the Ops Lens app. And if you would like to help support the show, you can buy some stickers and some patches at the ridingshotgunwithcharlie.com store, or the shop, I think is what I have it listed as. And you can buy shirts and mugs there, Gungram shirts. You can get Riding Shotgun with Charlie mugs and shirts and all sorts of cool stuff there. So if you do that, we greatly appreciate it. All right, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today we are in Mansfield, Massachusetts, in the home state, and I have with me Miss Kerrie Ann Auclair. It sounds like Eclair, which I would love to go to Dunkin' Donuts.
My husband used to get made fun of all the time.
All the time.
I
could imagine that.
It was either that or all clear.
All clear.
All clear.
That makes sense too. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. This is exciting.
It is exciting. I'm glad to have people that are close, and it doesn't cost too much money to go see them.
Exactly. Not 4 hours?
9.
Right,
9 hours. I know. I'm looking at a 9-hour trip one way, but that's okay. This is how I get the stagecoach.
This is how you roll.
America.
Pun intended.
That's what we do. Totally. All right. So you are you're relatively new to the gun stuff.
Yes.
You are one of the newest DC Project gals.
Yes, I think so.
Which is really cool. And you're just back from the DC Project Summit.
Yes. Yep.
So we're going to talk about that. We have so much stuff to talk about.
I know.
Let's go.
We could talk all day.
All day. I know.
All
like
day.
Our show prep was an hour and a half.
I know.
Sitting in a parking lot.
It's okay.
Talking.
It's all good.
Right.
Now I know all about you.
It only took an hour and a half. It's more than enough. All right, so let's talk about you and gun stuff. How did you get into gun stuff? Did you grow up hunting or shooting?
No.
No? You grew up in Massachusetts? No, you didn't grow up in Massachusetts.
No, actually, no. I'm from all over the place, but
all over.
Mainly Rhode Island for about 30 years, and then Massachusetts for the last 20 years or so.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
I'm not doing the age on your math, or the math on your age, but that's okay.
It's all right. I'm almost 50. I'm proud to say it.
It's now that I'm into my 50s, it doesn't seem as old as I thought it was.
No, you're right. It doesn't. I just wish that I got into this industry a lot younger.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's all right.
This blows people's mind. You can all check this out. You must have watched All in the Family, right?
Oh my God, we were just talking about that.
Carroll O'Connor, who was Archie Bunker.
Yes.
44 years old when he auditioned and got the gig as Archie Bunker.
I know.
44?
Isn't that crazy?
Dude looked well into his 60s.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so...
Either that was a lot of makeup or...
No, I think the white hair was natural.
Yeah.
I think dye jobs used to look worse.
That was a great show.
It was.
Probably wouldn't be allowed right now.
I think it would be banned. Although I did see recently that, who's the other guy I'm thinking of? Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is doing a History of the World Part 2.
Really?
I don't know if you watched History of the World Part 1. You should check it out. It's Mel Brooks, man. It's like...
Check it out.
It's like Blazing Saddles, but it's a bunch of history poking fun at a lot of
History's good.
Things.
History should not be taken away.
It's right, or changed
from it, or taken, destroyed, or statues knocked down.
Right.
Don't like that.
No, it's not good stuff.
Books taken off the shelves. It's not right. Not right.
I'm with you. All All right, so get into gun stuff. You grew up here in New England, and you're relatively new to gun stuff. What made
this change?
How did you get started? Yeah.
Actually, my husband.
Really?
Yes. So, I would say around, let's see, we got our license to carry in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old currently, but back then they were very young, and my husband worked third shift. So he unfortunately saw a story in the news, and I'm not going to go into the details of it, but it really freaked him out.
Yeah.
And he said, no, we need to get a license to carry. We need to have something in the home to protect you and the kids if something ever happened. So I said, oh, okay. I never really thought about it. I was one of those moms, actually, that was like, no, you can't play with the fake gun. The kids we can't have fake guns. We can't have toy guns. Oh, yeah, I was one of those.
Wow.
Yep. I was very adamant about having no toy guns in the house. And then it switched. We got a gun. We finally had our license to carry for 2 years, then finally got a gun.
Wow.
And now what do I do with this?
Right, now what?
So we have a neighbor nearby, retired police officer, and he said, come on, let's go. We're gonna shoot. Okay.
Cool.
So we did, and that was it. It was just from there, it just seemed like I was obsessed with learning more about a firearm, which I really think that is the most responsible thing to do, especially when you have little kids in the house.
Yeah.
And that was, I have a story about that too, but, and I think that's really important to make sure that when you do get a firearm, you're a responsible gun owner. And so I started watching YouTube and really trying to find some YouTubers out there that could help me, and I ran into Kelly Pidgeon from Armed and Feminine, and I was like, oh my god, she's awesome. And I learned so much from her. And one night I was texting her, I sent a private message, and she sent me a message back. I'm like, oh my god, she's talking to me. I can't believe it. And she kind of started off and saying, you should start a chapter. I'm like, what the hell is that? What are you talking about?
Chapter of what?
Yeah, and she said the well-armed woman. And so I said, okay, tell me more. And literally, we probably spoke and talked about, I don't know, I would say over 4 months before I said yes. I did a lot of research. I actually went down to Harrisville, Rhode Island, and met with my sister chapter over there before I started one. And the whole deal is you had to get a host range. So basically you had to have a home range that was going to accept us. And we found one, and they said yes. And so we've been doing this for about 4 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got about 70 members now.
That is, that's incredible.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll never forget the first time we had our first meet and greet. We had 30 women show up.
30 women?
Yep, and 30 women signed up that night.
Wow.
Yep, and the deal was, and this is the funny part, is neither one of us were instructors at this point.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, so we were so adamant about starting this chapter. We had four gentlemen sign up to help us out and trained us.
Wow.
Until we got our instructor license. And then, it was a little over a year, COVID hit and kind of postponed everything. But then we all got our license, our instructor license. Certification. And here we are. And we haven't stopped. So
that's awesome.
We keep training and training and training and training, and then we recognized how important it is, because when we first had that first meeting with the well-armed woman, women came up to me and told me their story. And I went home and I just shook my head and I said, oh my gosh. And we were the first. We're the only well-armed woman in Massachusetts.
That's cool.
So we recognized the need. We understood how important it was to be supportive to these women. To train in a non-threatening environment. I hate that word, non-threatening, because I think a lot of women are very intimidated because it's still considered a man's world.
Sure.
So when you're a new gun owner and you're a female and you go to the range, you see mostly men on the range, but now it's changing, and there's more women than I've ever seen before, especially this past year.
Yeah, no kidding.
The defunding of the police, the riots that were going on. You are your first responder, and it's true. It's so true. And you hear these stories. I have my own stories, but nothing like the stories that I heard. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like if they didn't have a firearm, they would be dead, you know, or
So that's one of the things, like, I was a gun agnostic growing up. It wasn't anything I was into. I wanted to be a musician and play in a band, and
that's awesome.
yeah, and do that. Live a different lifestyle. When I had kids is when the light finally went off, because I'm like, I've got this cute little boy who's 20 now, but I get this cute little boy that I have to raise, and I have to be around to raise him, which means I need to be able to protect me, and I want my son to be around,
right.
and I need to be able to protect him,
right.
You know, and of course it's spilled over into my daughter as well, but I have to be like, these are my kids.
Right.
Not that it's a possessive thing, but they're my kids.
But you're responsible for them.
Yes, it is your responsibility. So when I talk to my non-gun friends, especially when they have kids, I have to sit back and say, so you got kids now? You love your kids? Of course I love my kids. All right, somebody breaks in the house and threatens you and the kids, what are you going to do? I don't know.
Right.
So you're going to call the police and wait for 14 minutes? While this guy's, beating the crap out of you and beating the crap out of your son and raping you? Like,
yeah. Oh, I got goosebumps.
Like, and I want to grab these people and maybe shake them a little bit and say, don't you love your kids? Don't you, like, to me it's a form of expression of love, to say, listen, I carry this tool so I can protect you and you're,
I protect me and my family.
Yes.
Yep. And you do become a papa bear. You do become a mama bear when something is threatening your children, or something could possibly threaten your home.
Oh my gosh.
You just, a switch turns, and once you become a mom or a father, it changes you. It really truly changes you. And then, like I said, my husband was very, very freaked out about that story. He told me the story, and I'm like, and it makes you think that'll never happen to me. Oh, they never thought that was going to happen to them, and it did. Right.
And so the story, real quick, was the couple of the family in Connecticut. Yeah.
And you could tell the story.
And the quick version of the story is these two guys, I think it was two guys broke into someone's house and tied the father up, beat the crap out of him, raped the mother, raped the daughters, and then put the house on fire and killed them all. Yep.
And the father survived.
Oh.
He crawled out of the basement.
Oh my God.
And recognized what happened, and it was awful. But I got goosebumps. I don't know the person, but sometimes you hear stories like that, and it just means something. Yeah. And we had my neighbor across the street, actually, he had a home invasion around the same time that this happened.
Oh my God.
And that was another reson why my husband was like, oh no, no. You gotta, it's time. We got to do something, and you think about, like, what ifs, that's why, what would happen if somebody broke in your house and your kids are upstairs and one's downstairs? You think of these scenarios, and it's not to be paranoid, it's to be smart. And I am an instructor for Refuse to Be a Victim.
Oh, cool.
And I love it. I think it's a great class to take.
It really is.
Yeah, because you want to prevent you having to use your firearm.
Absolutely, that's what it's about.
Nobody wants to do that.
I'm certified to teach the saber pepper spray class, which I never teach.
Yeah.
But I always tell people that the two things that you need to learn.
Don't spray it on yourself.
The three things you need to learn. The pepper spray stuff, legit, I mean, it's a 3-hour pepper spray
Oh my
class.
God, you gotta do it for my girls.
I'm gonna teach it to you in 1 minute. What it is you need to pay attention to your surroundings.
Yeah.
That is
exactly.
one. And then the other thing is, when you spray pepper spray people above the eyes so it runs down into their eyes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
If you aim towards their eyes, by the time it gets to their eyes,
so what's in your recommendation, spray or gel? I'm
gonna go with the spray.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I heard the gel.
I don't know if I like the gel.
Well, okay, so tell me.
I don't know if the gel's easier to find or harder to find. But I will say this. I took my daughter to a big city for college a couple months ago. When we got down to Tennessee, we went to a Waffle House for breakfast. And then we went to the Nashville Armory and bought her some pepper spray.
There you go.
Then we went to college.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell my kids all the time, okay, remember the rules. Mom, we know. Mom, we know. We know.
Yes. So I make the Cook family Christmas gungram. We do a Christmas song as a gungram every year.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah, trying to eliminate the family Christmas photo cards. So, and you know, I get the girl to shoot my Walther P22, and the son shoots the AR, and we go through the safety rules. Do we have to? Yep. Safe direction, finger off the trigger, check to see if it's loaded. Yep. How do you check this one? You check here, you check here, you check here. Cool, good.
Nice.
Awesome rock and roll, man.
Love it.
Did a safety check, we're all set.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. So
So cool.
it's important to be able to protect your family and,
Yes.
and yourself and your family.
Yep.
So you can
And
be around
you
for your
know, and
kids.
it's funny because I remember saying to myself, because there's a few family members that aren't necessarily 100% on my side. They don't really understand why or how or what was the reasoning to why am I doing this.
Right.
So I remember when the range that we were at said yes, it was a big thing for us. And I can't tell you, I felt like I was on cloud nine. Oh my God, they said yes, we can do this. Oh my God, we're gonna do this.
Right.
And it was awesome. And I said, oh no, it's the cat's out of the bag. You know, I came out of the closet. It's
Right.
on the Facebook. We did it. They said yes, we're official. Well, I'm home and shooting chapter. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta tell these family members quickly before they see it. And so I did, and I remember one particular family member said, I don't feel the need to carry. I don't feel that I'm in a unsafe, place. I'm not in a town that I feel I need to protect myself.
Right.
And I just remember not knowing what to say because I didn't want to offend them.
Right.
And then I said to that person, I said, you don't know when you're going to need it, and some people that need it are in the safest place imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a hard one.
Did you figure out what to tell people yet?
Yeah, now I don't care.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, now I don't care.
My answer is this: oh, good for you. I don't feel the need to care. Good for you. I'm not you. Like you, I don't drink tequila because of the way.
To kill you.
Right. It's not that I have had bad experiences with tequila, but it's not for me. Like,
but I think it's a personal choice too.
It is a personal choice. Absolutely.
And I get in this conversation a lot, mostly with women, because obviously I talk to women more, especially with the chapter, and then I have guests come and they're like, I'm thinking about getting a firearm, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm comfortable. What makes you not comfortable? Let's talk about that first.
Right.
I'm afraid. What are you afraid of? I'm afraid of a gun. Why?
Okay.
So you kind of go through what their fears are. Okay, well, just come into the range. You don't have to shoot. Just watch.
Yeah.
Just watch.
It's not going to do anything.
It's not going to do anything. I can put the firearm right down here right now. It's not going to fire.
There was when I was really new to it. I don't even know if it's still around, but I would look up. I don't even know how I found this, but somebody had a camera on a revolver, right? And they had a camera on a revolver, and it was on like 24/7. And it said, if this gun commits a crime, please call my number. This is the number I'm at.
That's great.
And it would this was a long time ago, but it would refresh every 3 or 4 seconds.
Right.
And I'm like, is that just a picture? Is that a live video?
That's awesome. That's brilliant. It really is.
Right.
But and I don't want to force firearms into somebody's hands.
Yes, of course.
But it is a personal choice. But I find that once you start talking to somebody about it and what their fears are, they think about it, and they change their mind. Most of the people that I talk to do change their mind. Like, you're right. I never thought of it like that. So yeah, I think it's great. But and hey, if they decide to have a firearm, we're here to help.
Yeah. If you want some help, I'm more than willing to take you out and give you the safety lessons and go through the fundamentals of shooting and teach how to do this.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, that's fine too. But don't tell me what I can't do.
Right.
That's the whole infringement part.
Yeah. Shall not be infringed.
Right. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Don't tell me not to do it because you don't want to do it.
Right.
Right?
Right. That's why I decided. I remember Lakeisha Robbins actually was DC state director for Massachusetts, and I joined as a delegate, and I wanted to know more and more and more, and how, and this and that, and asked probably way too many questions. But down the road, Lakeisha Gate said, I want to give you the torch. And
That's
I
cool.
said, okay.
What am I doing?
So I said yes, and
she's a lot of fun too.
I love her. I absolutely love her, and you know, she really opened up a lot of doors for me too, because I took it. I said yes, and you know, with the help of Goal and obviously the DC project, I'm learning so much, and I'm meeting so many, you know, interesting, smart women. This industry is amazing. I wish I found this earlier. I feel like finally found my place where I belong. I feel like I'm put here for a purpose, and it could be just one person that I touch, one person that I made a difference to, and that really is what it's all about. And then when you hear these stories, you're like, this can't be taken away from us.
Right. All right, I'm going. I am that guy that's not going to stop. I am.
Yeah, well,
I am.
You probably,
I probably should have, but I'm like, you know
keep
what?
Going. But
I'm on the main road. I have the right of way.
You do. You don't need to come into my lane.
Right.
What the heck are you doing? But yeah, I think it's important to protect those rights, because, and here's the thing, this is what frustrates me more. I was on the plane reading this article in one of the magazines I brought on the plane. It was USCCA magazine. Do you get one of those? No.
So anyways,
okay, and back to and it had like 3 pages of stories of people protecting themselves with a firearm. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
I took a bunch of pictures, but you don't ever hear this on the news.
Right.
It's so frustrating, because if people realized how often a firearm protected somebody, maybe they would understand why.
Maybe they would change their mind. Right.
I just, that frustrates me.
Yeah, John Lott, a number of years ago, John Lott, who wrote More Guns, Less Crime, and a number of other books, the media bias against guns and some other things. He found out through the studies that he did that a gun was used 2.5 million times a year to protect people. It doesn't have to be fired, but it's
right.
You know, 2.5 million times. And if you figure that out, I did the math once, and it's, I don't know, 6,500 times a day somebody's using a gun to protect themselves.
I wish I knew that. Maybe you can answer this. How many people die from people texting?
Oh, I don't know what the number is, but it's, of course, it's ridiculous, and it's more than...
So why is nobody talking about taking phones away? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about taking our cars away?
Right.
You know, it doesn't make sense. They're not making sense.
It does not.
Because you got to look at the crime.
Absolutely. All right.
Look at that cute little antique shop.
I know, right? We're gonna bang a Yui and make a turn here. All right, more fun traffic stuff in the Commonwealth. Woohoo!
Gotta love Massachusetts.
I know. So this is where we possibly get into an accident.
Okay, we got it. Yay. So yeah.
So you got the well-armed woman.
Yep.
And you got the DC project going on.
Yeah. Now I know most people know what the DC project is.
Well, I have a whole playlist of DC Project Gal videos.
I know. I watched every single one of them, by the way.
Love it.
I did.
I know. I sent you the link. I'm like...
And you made me feel much better going to Florida, because I was a little nervous meeting everybody.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So when I watched all your videos, I'm like, oh, these people are awesome. I can't wait to meet them. So we went to the DC Summit, and it was a 4-day training session.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. They had like, we learned about the legislation. We learned about how to deal with the press, how to interview, everything. It was really, really awesome, and I got to meet some amazing ladies along the way. And
tell me about when you finally got to meet Kelly.
Finally.
Right?
Yep. So yeah, after 5 years of talking to Kelly over the phone and being friends over the phone, we finally met in Florida. She picked me up from the airport. I couldn't believe it.
That is so cool.
Yep. Yep. It was so like, cool. Oh my God, I feel like crying. This is amazing.
Right.
Yep. I wanted to go home to see my family, but at the same time, I didn't want it to end
Right.
Because it was so empowering.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing some of these stories, one lady, she actually survived a home invasion. And she said that she knew the person. So to make a long story,
Wow.
she knew the person, and she went to go put her dogs upstairs because she knew the person, and
Right.
she knew that this person wasn't well, and he had a drug issue. He was in the house and he wasn't well, we'll just say.
Yeah.
And so she went to go put the dogs upstairs, and when she did, the guy came running up after her. She locked herself in the bedroom, but he was so strong, he knocked through the bedroom and started strangling her.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing, is when that happened, she said, and I don't want to put words in her mouth, but basically she said, I'm going to die. And what is my daughter going to find me like?
Mm-hmm.
Because her daughter was at the movie theaters and was going to get dropped off. And so then she started thinking, well, wait a minute. What if I die and this guy stays here? What is he going to do to her?
When she comes home.
Yep. So I get all ugh. So she just, Mama Bear came out and she fought, and she was able to get to her firearm, and she pulled the firearm and pointed it to him, and he laughed at her and said, what, are you going to shoot me? And he backed off enough for her to escape and go running to the neighbors. They caught him, and then years later he passed. He died of an overdose. So you hear that story and you say to yourself, this is the reasons why.
Yeah.
You know,
This is why.
this is the reasons why. You don't want ever to have something happen to you like that, but you want to be able to be your first responder. You want to protect yourself. Gun rights, are women's rights. There's a reason for what we do. You know, there is a passion that I will never stop fighting for what I believe is right. That's why there, the DC Project, a nationwide organization of women that safeguard our Second Amendment, and damn, I'm going to fight to the very end. And hopefully we don't have to, but that will never be an end to that, because it's our right.
Yeah, there's not going to be an end, because the fight's always going to be there, because the anti-gun wackos are more brazen. They're bolder than you and I are. They think that they're more self-righteous than you and I are, and they're not going anywhere.
No, they think taking the guns away are going to solve the crime, but what they don't understand, it's not going to solve anything. It's not going to stop crime.
It's not going to stop crime. We saw this in Norway recently.
Yes.
Where a guy there was a mass bowing. Is that the right word? A mass bowing? Mass shooting with a bow and arrow. Guy shot 5 people with a bow and arrow.
Yep.
And I believe I read some stories recently that Australia is trying to ban bow and arrows now. They've already taken the guns away from people, so now they're going to ban bow and arrows. Why don't they just ban violence? And ban violence?
You know what? They need to look at the crime itself. I mean, a lot of these look, for example, the school shootings. They needed to look at why that happened. And could they have prevented that from happening? Could you have prevented that from happening? From just being aware of the situation and saying something's wrong with this kid. This poor kid has something going on. It's mental health. Is he getting bullied? Is there something going on at home? Yeah. And then you hear school shootings happen, and then you hear all these teachers and students come out saying, "Oh, we knew something was wrong. We knew something was wrong."
But
well, if you knew something was wrong, why didn't you take the initiative of doing something? Yeah. And maybe they did, and maybe no one listened, and that's the problem there. It could be a problem there, so you got to look at the whole situation. And nobody wants to hear of those kind of things happening. Nobody wants to hear of a mass shooting, but you need to look at the crime. Mental health is a huge problem. As we already know, certain parts of Massachusetts, these poor people are walking around on the streets.
Yeah.
Because why? Why?
Yeah, I mean, we have, and this is a phrase I've certainly, stolen from people, it's the revolving door of justice, where somebody commits a crime, they get arrested. If it's, I always tell people, stay focused here, Chuck. People get arrested, and then they get the charges, brought up against them, and then they get released. And then they're back on the street.
Yeah, right.
And
I think that I also find that in, a lot of women are like, I don't want to carry because I'm afraid of the repercussion. Ugh. that just kills me too.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about the repercussion. Let's talk about what the law, you know, you need to know the law. And if you knew the law, right?
Yeah.
You would feel a little bit more confident, comfortable, right? You gotta know what you can, what you can't do. You gotta know
where you can and where you can't carry.
Right.
And and how to handle it.
Right.
So one of the things that John Green told me years ago, and I use it in every class that I teach, is if someone questions you, if you're pulled over by the police and you have to tell the police, and the police ask you, "Have a gun on you?" I was walking through a store one time and the metal detector went off.
Oh, I know. I'm always afraid of that happening when I walk out. You're like,
right, the metal detector went off.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh man. So the line is, I have a license to carry and I'm currently doing so. How would you like me to proceed?
I like that.
And I always tell people, if you have to tell the police, because in some states you don't have to tell police, but if you have to tell the police, officer, I have a license to carry and I'm currently doing so. How would you like me to proceed? Yeah. And it tells the police that you are, you're a good guy or you're a good gal. You've got your good gal, your good guy, good guy license, and nobody wants to get shot. No. You don't want to get shot. They don't want to get shot. Right.
And there's so many different scenarios that, you know, we can go into, because every scenario is so different. Yeah. You know.
And I think one of the things that I notice from teaching people is most people think police are pro-gun, and that is not necessarily the case.
Nope. That's true. And a lot of I'm not being disrespectful to police, because thank you for your service, because, you know, we appreciate that. But I also think that some, not all, some police don't even know the law.
Oh, sure.
You know, and that blows my mind. I mean, so it's important that you, as a firearm owner, that you're a responsible gun owner and know the law. If you don't understand the law, find it out, or call somebody and we'll get you the answers.
Right. Call your state's pro-gun group.
John knows a law like this.
He is a he is a pro.
He's the book.
I told him when I started riding shotgun, I told him I
want to be like that.
So my deal is this. I remember this. I was thinking about this. Legit. I was thinking about this past weekend as I was teaching a class. I took a class with John in 2002. I think it was August. Yeah, August of 2002 is when I took a class. The first time I fired a gun was a Smith & Wesson Model 617 22 10-shot revolver with a 4-inch barrel. And I belonged to the Worcester Pistol and Rifle Club where I shot that. And I remember shooting it and thinking, do other people know about this? Because this is unbelievable. And I remember thinking, I would quit drinking. I mean, not forever, but I would quit drinking for a while so I could do this. And I remember thinking, John gets to teach people gun classes. I want to do that. I want to be like John. I want to teach gun classes like he does.
Yeah, he taught me.
He's great. He is.
Everything I have is because of him.
Yeah.
And he's very inspiring.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yep. Goal's lucky to have him. Massachusetts is lucky to have him.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, it's just this is a great world to be in. And I'm meeting a lot of wonderful people.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. It is all good stuff.
It really is. So, yeah, you know, so if we're looking for more delegates to join the DC project.
Yeah, so this is something that they started doing last year. I think they were planning on doing this pre-COVID, and I hate saying it that way, but they wanted to get state groups and have, so they have, it was supposed to be one woman from every state. Yep. And then they wanted to have the ladies get smaller groups in the state to do more things. Yep,
locally, and then once a year get together at DC, and hopefully the DC State House is going to, I don't even know if it's open. I think it's still closed.
Think so.
I know Massachusetts is still closed, which is ridiculous. Yep, so I joined kind of at a funky time.
Yeah.
You know, so hopefully everything opens up and then we can start digging our heels in there and
right.
You know, I want to get there. I want to testify. I want to do what I feel is right. Be able to teach others how to do this. I think that's important. And recognizing that here's the thing: to be a state delegate, I think it sounds very intimidating. Like, oh, it's that, you know.
Right.
But you don't have to. Everybody has a superpower, right? Everybody has their own superpower.
Everyone's got their own strengths, absolutely.
Right. So when you're a state delegate, that doesn't mean that you have to go testify, because some people are just not good at that.
Yeah.
Some people are an amazing writer, and that could be a benefit for us. Maybe you're a supporter. Maybe you just want to support us. You want to, make donations. Maybe you want to wear your teal t-shirts and just be a supporter behind us. Because when you walk into a room like that and you have one person in teal, but if you walk into a room and you have 30 women dressed in teal, that makes an impression.
It does make a big impression.
That is huge too. So whatever your superpower is, because we all have one, that's what we need. We need more women to say, I think I have something that could be beneficial to you.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have anything, but I want to learn. I want to protect our Second Amendment. What can I do? So if you're interested in becoming a delegate, because I need people that want to step up and help out.
Yeah.
So, go to the DC, I believe it's dc.info.
dcproject.info.
Yep, dcproject.info. And
obviously we'll put links.
Yep, links. And I think that's important. Reach out, because we need more.
Right, and it's obviously,
people.
we're both here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but it's every state has one.
Yeah.
I like telling people, I like saying this to people. I've been with Miss Maine. I've been with Miss Massachusetts twice, 2 of them. Miss Connecticut, Miss New York, Miss Ohio, Miss Illinois, 3 Miss Illinois.
Yep.
I love doing that.
Yeah, and we're actually missing some state delegates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Rhode Island, we don't have a state delegate. State
rep.
Yep, so I'm the DC State Director of Mass. We don't have one for Rhode Island. We don't have one, I believe, for Maine and Vermont. And there's a few other states as well. If you're interested in becoming a state DC director, then check it out.
Very cool.
Email me. I'd be more than happy to hook you up with Diane Muller.
Yeah, she's
is the founder.
Awesome. She is pretty awesome.
She is.
She is.
She is. When I first met her, I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, oh, she's cool. I love her. She's just done so much that you're like, wow, how do you do all this?
I know. This is one thing Amanda Suffolk told me one time. We were in Ohio doing some stuff, and
is that gonna mess up?
I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
And so Amanda said to me, we did a fashion show in the afternoon, and then we were doing a Friends of the NRA dinner. And
cool.
Then we were running off to do a radio show, all in the same afternoon.
Oh my God, cool.
Right? It was so cool. So, it was one of these things, we did the fashion show, and it went really well. And
I wouldn't mind doing one of those.
We've done a couple here with Goal.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a while, but
yeah.
Anyway, so Amanda just looked at me. She's like, "Keep up." I'm like, oh my God, keep up.
She said that?
She did. She's like, "You just need to keep up, Charlie."
Oh my God, keep up.
Keep up.
Oh.
Keep up.
And that's what I feel like I'm trying to do, is keep up. I think we're all trying to do that, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you realize the importance of it.
Yeah,
you gotta keep up.
You have to keep up.
But that's not something to say that don't let that deter you from
my God,
being
absolutely
part
not.
of this.
No. It's not something you tell a complete stranger to keep up.
Yeah.
It's one of these things where they're like, okay, you're gonna hang out with us?
Want to play with the big boys?
Right. Right.
With the big girls? Yep.
It's all good stuff, man.
It is. It really, truly is. So, yeah, I'm excited. I just took a class recently with Bill Dalby from Patriot Firearms, the DCF1 class.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So my goal is to
what is
be
it?
DCF1, the defensive one.
Is it the pinkest class?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. There's 1 and 2.
Okay.
So, I want to become a USCCA instructor down there.
Nice.
That's what I want to do.
All right, we're going to talk about that offline.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to talk about that offline.
Yep.
Because that is something I've thought about getting into.
Yeah, so that's what I want to do, because right now we actually switched ranges. Mm-hmm. So we went to another range, because the original range that we were at, unfortunately their bylaws wouldn't allow us to teach defensively. So we recognized that we went to a certain point and we appreciated everything they did, but you know, we need to kind of be able to offer some additional things to our ladies. So we moved to a different range, and now we're able to invite other instructors in to help us with that process, because it is it's totally different. Right? Don't you think that it's completely different? It's like
it is, and I think some of the stuff that I struggle with when I'm teaching classes is the bulk of what I do is home firearm safety, so people can get their mass license to carry.
Right.
But then people will want to know, hey, well, what about this and what about that? And you're like, it's not really part of the curriculum.
Yeah, and I know, and you want to tell them, you're like, but this is not what I'm supposed to be teaching.
Right, and like, hey, this is really something else. Like, this is just a beginning class to get you up and going. And people do, you know, there's a lot of people I've run into that will take the home firearm safety class to get their license to carry. Once they get their license, they buy a gun, they buy some ammo, they go to the range once, and then they think they're all set. It's really not.
No, and that's why I tell them all the time. I said education is key. And here's the thing, I'm not one of those instructors that's like, it's $150 and that's what. Listen, if it's about money, then come talk to me and we'll work something out. I'd rather you have that opportunity to learn. Maybe we split it up into pieces. Maybe we, you know, join the Well-Armed Woman for $50 a year. You're going to get something than nothing, you know. So I think it's important to educate yourself.
Yeah,
you know, it's so important. And I think also I find it refreshing too to be trained to train with other, you know, for me to be actually trained by other instructors, because I don't know it all. I've never ever claimed to know everything.
Right.
And I think that when you do teach with other instructors, you have an opportunity to learn from them.
Oh my God, absolutely.
And they have an opportunity to learn from you.
Yeah.
So
one of the things that I did last year, I heard some of the guys that I look up to, I heard one of them say they did 100 hours worth of training on their own as an instructor. And I'm like, that's a lot. So I'm like, I'm not looking for 100 hours, but I did, this year, I've taken some classes up at the SIG Academy.
Oh, nice.
The Handgun 101, 102, 103. I did the AR class.
Oh,
I did a class with Ben DeWalt from On-Site Firearm Training. And I did a MAG 40 class with Masada Yu.
Wow.
Some of the cool kids out in Sioux Falls this summer.
A lot of tough stuff.
And I did a Faster Saves Lives class, which teaches teachers how to be gun folks.
Nice.
And teaches them about stuff.
Yep.
You know, first aid and trauma. Trauma
that's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's not 100 hours, but it was a little something.
Oh, I think it's really cool. I think it's great.
I'm setting my sights for 2022 and where I want to go and the classes I want to take. I'm looking at a class that's going to cost, I don't know, $1,500 or $1,500.
I know, it can get expensive.
It's on the other side of the country as well.
Yeah, so. See, that's the problem. I can't quite travel that far yet, you know?
Right.
And it costs money.
I hear you all too well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. But I just want to get trained in everything I possibly can get trained in. I want to get certified. I want to get trained. I want to go to places.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
It is.
Because the more I train, the more I'm able to provide to my students.
Yeah, the better you can give to other people. I know. I'm at this point where when somebody tells me they want to carry a gun, I'm like, do you know what you're getting into? Do you really know what you're getting into? You think you know what you're getting into. Do you really know what you're getting into?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a personal choice, and then you have to, you know, I like the home firearm safety classes.
Yeah.
But I like the basic pistol class.
Basic pistol's good because you get to do some shooting.
It is, but I also find that a lot of people that take those classes forget everything.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
and then they come back to me like 6 months later. I'm like, I don't remember what you said. I'm like, you have a book?
I know, right? I always tell people it's like the Prego, right? It's in there. It's in there. We talked about this.
But okay, let's talk about
this. We did this. What did we talk? We talked about this. We did talk about that.
Right. they forget.
They do forget, and that's part of the thing is, you have this much information. You wanna put 10 pounds of meat in a 5-pound bag, and it's not. There's going to be things they forget, and that's fine, and that's cool. And
that's a lot to take in, though.
It is a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in, and I try to remember what I was like when I first started, and how nervous I was, just trying to figure out how to, make sure my firearm was cleared.
Right.
I'm like, I can't even do this. Why is this not locking? I don't get it. Right? And you get a lot of people that said, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That's a too big of a gun for you.
Right.
Who said that?
So I did buck up and get an Easy 380 this past year. I did. I got an Easy 380.
Because you wanted to try it, or?
All right, so here's a quick story. A friend of mine, one of my very long friends, I don't call her my oldest friend because I know people that are older. I call her my longest friend.
Oh, so that's a way. That's right.
So my longest friend got an Easy 380, and I bought her magazines, I bought her dummy rounds, and I got her a book. I'm like, good. I said, welcome to the club. This is what I do. I love you. You're my friend. This is what I'm going to give you. Welcome to the club.
That's awesome.
And then 3 months later, I'm like, I don't know if I would have bought that gun. And I'm like, I didn't want to tell this to you because I didn't want you to get upset. I don't want you to not get in the club. I want you to get in the club.
So you bought her that to make it easy to get started, get her feet wet, and then let's go for the big boys.
Then let's go for something else, right? And then I had another friend that did the same sort of thing. She's got small hands. That's what she ended up with. She's had a hard time rocking slides, so she ended up with an Easy 380.
Yep.
And again, back to Amanda Suffolcool, I gave her a call, and I'm like, so I got a friend that's gonna probably buy a 380, and friends don't let friends shoot 380s, and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, Charlie, here's like legit, why don't you want to do, why would you tell her not to get this? And I'm like, ammo's hard to find and it's more expensive. And she's like, women don't care about that. I'm like, okay. So then I had to go buy one, and just to be like, okay, you're right, I got one as well.
Right.
And then Amanda, of course, I called her on a radio show to say, you're right, I'm sorry, you were right. And then she's like, did you get it in pink? I'm like, all right, let's not be ridiculous.
I wasn't that bad.
Right.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
Yep. That's like the thing, though, right? Is that the main question you get from most people that are new? What do I get? Are you going back?
Yeah.
Because if you are, you're there.
Oh, this is it. Oh, rats. All right.
Actually, you can go down here, and it goes right around those buildings.
Yeah. So what I always tell people to listen. You gotta. This is where it's all personal. You gotta put the gun in your hand and figure out what works in your hand, and you gotta think about what the purpose of the gun is, and then work your way backwards.
Right.
And that's what you need to do, because what fits in my hand's not gonna fit in your hands.
Right. It's like a glove. It's different for everybody. Literally everybody.
It is.
And don't ever let anybody say you can't because that gun's too big.
Yeah.
You just have to try it, because you might be so little and your hand's a little, but damn, you can rack that and have no problem.
Yes.
So I think the groups like the Well-Armed Woman, there's Girls in a Gun, there's the Pink Pistols, there's all sorts of different groups that you can go to and say, hey, listen,
all sorts of stuff.
Can I come down and just watch?
Yep.
And kind of like figure out what different guns people are shooting?
Yeah.
And if I bring some rounds for that particular model, can I try it out?
Yeah.
And women are like, come on over, here you go, this is, and it's so awesome because you're there together supporting each other.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It would be. I would like to have more handguns to do like a petting zoo kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, listen, I got these 10 guns. We're gonna try these guns. We got ammo for it. And,
Not disclosing where we're at, but there is a awesome outdoor range, and I'm teaching here, and I think this is a great opportunity to do something like that right there. I can vision
right over
every
there.
single bay having like a
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, listen, where can people find you and all of your stuff?
Okay, so let's see. You can.
Where do they find? Okay, I'm gonna walk you through this.
Yes, thank you.
Where do we find you and your shooting biz?
Okay, so Ways to Be Empowered.
Ways to Be Empowered. Yep, oh, cool.
At gmail.com.
Gotcha. Website, Facebook page, IG.
I have a Facebook page too. Ways to Be Empowered. If you are interested in the Well-Armed Woman, it's TWAW shootingchapters.org.
Okay.
Okay, shooting chapters with an S, because there's two different. So don't go Googling the well-armed woman, because you'll get apparel. So it's TWAW, shootingchapters.org, the DCproject.info. And you can also email me for the well-armed woman at TWAW, bristolcountyma@gmail.com.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, listen, thank you for being on the show. I've got the riding shotgun with Charlie patches and a Gungram sticker for ya.
I'm so excited.
For your gun stuff, I know. I don't know if you're a patch gal.
I am starting to become one.
Right?
Love it.
People have patch walls. Which is
patch walls,
like a wall with all their patches on it. I
Interesting.
have something similar. I call it the motivation map.
Oh, tell me more.
I've got a big map on the wall on my desk of places where I want to do shows, and I've got pins on them, and it's on a corkboard, and around the corkboard obviously is bigger than the map, and then I got all my patches.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I have another. This is so ridiculous. I have a map of the USA that is it's a metal map. I got it at Michael's. Oh my God,
A metal
so
map.
Yeah, it's what do you call it? It's like a steel map.
Yeah, so you can put magnets on it and stuff like that?
Galvanized steel. It's galvanized steel.
Okay.
I guess is what it is. Galvanized steel. It's in the shape of the United States. There's states outlined. You know the states outlined.
Yeah.
On it? I got a sticker with the riding shotgun logo on it.
Oh my
that I put
God,
in the middle,
nice.
and then I put little black dots on places where I do interviews.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's all about getting a stagecoach across America.
Yeah, well, you know, you're spreading the word. What's better than that?
I come up with a list, but it's good stuff.
Oh, I think that's
I dig
that's
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I love what I'm doing. Like, yeah, I love it. It's all good stuff.
It's a good world to be in.
It is.
Be surrounded by like-minded people.
Right.
Yeah.
Like-minded, freedom-loving people. It's
Yep.
all good stuff.
Like I said, I feel like I finally came out of the closet, so to speak, and I'm not afraid of talking about where I'm at.
That's cool.
And I think the more we talk about it, the more people, like, I'm actually very surprised. I went out of the closet, so to speak, and I posted something on my Facebook page, and I was actually surprised at the people that made comments.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, she wants a gun? Really? Okay, yeah, you know? So, you know, you just don't know who you're going to reach.
Yeah, you don't.
You know, so and the more people know that you do this and you're more than willing to talk about it, I think that's important too, because you might reach that one person, and that one person could potentially save their lives.
It could. It's all good stuff.
Yep.
All right, listen, thank you for being on the show.
Oh my God, I can't thank you enough. This is awesome.
Thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you guys for watching the show. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can watch it on YouTube, on Full 30, on Gunstreamer, and on the Ops Lens app. If you want to help support the show, please go to ridingshotgunwithcharlie.com. I've got a store there. You can buy shirts and stickers. You can buy the patches. I'll send those out to you. And make sure you join the Second Amendment Foundation, saf.org.
Yes.
You can find all of your pro-freedom podcasts at the Self-Defense Radio Network, sdrn.us. And thank you guys for watching the show. We'll put links. This has been great. Thank you for being on.
Awesome.